The Los Angeles Dodgers are champions of baseball. Let's list the reasons why they went back to back.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Dodgers. My name is Travis Rodgers. You can find me on social media platforms under my name at Travis Rodgers. Thanks for checking us out on Locked On Dodgers. Harry's covering SC tonight, so a little instant reaction to what just happened in Toronto. The Dodgers walk it off against the Blue Jays, a defensive walk-off, if you want, as far as a double play to end the game. We're going to get to all of that and exactly how this all came together over the last couple of nights. Just an unbelievable time to be a Dodger fan. Thanks for being an everydayer with us. And if you are not, now is a perfect time to jump aboard a little back-to-back championship for our Los Angeles Dodgers. So let's start right here, right? With the back-to-back titles. It's the first time since the turn of the century that we have seen a major league team go back-to-back. It's the first time in 50 years since a National League team has gone back-to-back. The Big Red Machine did it, and my, oh my, was it hard and difficult and challenging and just downright scary for the last couple of nights. Let's go right to this. The resiliency that the Dodgers showed tonight in Game 7 was the true heart of a champion. This is why you have all of that talent. This is why you have all of that experience. This is why you have a manager like Dave Roberts, when even after someone like Bo Bichette hits a 3-run home run, gets the place absolutely rocking, there wasn't one Dodger that wavered in that moment. There wasn't one Dodger that you thought was kind of like, here we go. That's it. Wasn't meant to be. It was a weird season. We weren't hidden. It's not going to happen. What they did is they started to chip, and they started to chip, and they started to chip, taking a 3-run lead down to a 1-run lead, down to a no-run lead, down to a 1-run win. And it was a series of players. Nobody, with the exception of Yamamoto, who we're going to talk about coming up here in just a little bit, pitched all that wonderfully, but nobody really pitched all that poorly either. Every single guy that came out of that Dodger bullpen tonight was just about good enough to do what they needed to do, maybe with the exception of Shohei Ohtani, who got off to a little bit of a rough start. He did not look his best on short rest, but the Dodgers still found a way to cover 6+ innings after that. And we're talking about Justin Robleski and Sheehan. And of course, you got Yamamoto coming in out of the pen at the end and going not 1, not 2, but 2+ innings to come in and be the hero that he was. So it just was a long season, a weird season. Think about this. This is a season that started way back in Japan at the end of March. Here we are in November in Canada, from Japan to the U.S. to Canada to extra innings in Game 7 of the World Series in November, and the Dodgers are back-to-back. And really, they never, ever hit their stride. It's one of the more peculiar things, I think, when we take some time to reflect on what this championship means. One of the weird things is going to be the Dodgers just went 13-4 in the playoffs and really didn't play very well. That is just remarkable to think about. Now, they pitched like crazy. They fought like crazy. But for that 15-game run, or I guess 17-game run, they didn't swing the bats a lick, except for when they kind of had to, and they were able to scrape some hits together. Miguel Rojas is going to live in Dodger history forever and ever. Will Smith with a home run to give them that big lead. Just all of the Dodger stars stepping up in one way or another, whether it was tonight, whether it was last night with Kiki Hernandez making a crazy play in left field, Miggy Rowe digging that ball out kind of behind his back. Just a series of tough relief appearances, really right up and down the line. Glasnow, Blake Snell, both Dodgers used all 4 of their starting pitchers. All season long, these guys who were waiting on, they all step up and they did what they needed to do. It took a little bit longer than anybody thought, but they're world champions back to back. All right, so let's jump to Yamamoto right now. Let's talk a little bit about what he did. He has become one of the great World Series heroes in the history of the sport. He just won 3 of the 4 games that his team pitched in. He threw an absolute masterpiece in game 2, backed that up with another near masterpiece in game 6, and pitched deep into the game to give his team a chance to win, a game that they did win. He picks up his second win, and then less than 24 hours later, he finds himself back on the bump again, doing what he does, just being an absolute killer on the mound. Completely unflappable, completely composed under the most extreme pressure imaginable. And this man is now a made man in Dodger universe. He is a legend. He is something that we will be talking about for years and years and years, where the entire world has been preoccupied with Shohei Ohtani, rightfully so. Yoshinobu Yamamoto comes in and is unquestionably the most valuable player of this team, of this series, in the World Series against the Toronto Blue Jays. And it wasn't close. Maybe Miggy Rowe. Maybe we'll give Miggy Rowe a little bit of love in there as well. So Yamamoto, I'm sure coming up next week, Harry and I will be all over all the individual accomplishments and awards. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who was great for the Dodgers last year in the postseason, in his first season in Major League Baseball, this is why they went out and spent $300 million on a guy who had never thrown a pitch in Major League Baseball, because they knew he had this inside of him. They knew that he was a guy that would never blink, that would never roll, that would constantly compete. And even when he had that bumpy outing against the Phillies in the DS, he bounced back and was absolutely remarkable. All right, let's finish up here with Miguel Rojas. Where do you even start with a player like this? He had not started a game since the DS. He was a guy that was, coming in, defensive replacement, getting an at-bat here or there, but really not a part of the Dodger plan. And the reason he got inserted into the game in game 6 on Friday night is because the Dodgers had basically hit the end of the line, and it was well, what are we going to do, right? We might as well try a vet. We might as well try something different. And Miguel Rojas makes a series of plays last night that end up helping the Dodgers force what happened tonight. So what happens tonight? Miguel Rojas, who probably, if you lined up any of the Dodger regulars, certainly any of the 9 guys playing tonight, and said who is the least likely candidate to hit a home run, Miguel Rojas would win by a vote of 100% to 0%. It was him. He had not hit a home run since the middle of September. I believe he said this is the first right-handed home run, the first home run he'd hit off a right-hander all season long. It's his second home run since the All-Star break. Oh, yeah, that's back in July. Just the least likely guy, but gave you a quality at-bat to send the game into extra innings, made a series of plays defensively. The play he made when he threw the runner out at home, falling backwards after kind of catching his cleats in the turf or whatever that little stumble was, that play is so much more difficult than it looks like. An unbelievable play there. And now Miguel Rojas, who is a multiple-time World Series champion with this, is going to go manage somewhere, is going to go coach somewhere. He's going to be around baseball for as long as he wants. But here's what he knows. He never needs to walk in anywhere and buy a beer for himself anywhere in the city of Los Angeles, because he is officially a made man in the world of Dodger fans. And then lastly, of course, Will Smith. Going into the end, you're asking yourself the question, who's got the advantage? And it felt to me, now granted, Homer biased, all this stuff, it felt to me that the advantage was slightly towards the Dodgers, because they had more guys that could randomly run into a ball and hit a home run and potentially end the game. The Blue Jays probably had an advantage on the mound, but that was before we figured out that Yoshinobu Yamamoto was going to go do what he did. Well, Will Smith was the random man who ran into one, who popped one, who hit the go-ahead run in the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. That's backyard Little League stuff. Anytime you can get Will Smith to exclaim the way he did after Game 6, the way he did tonight, something remarkable has happened. Just a tremendous compliment for the Dodgers. I don't want to say it wasn't a great season. It certainly is a great season when you win the World Series, and Dodger fans everywhere are thrilled. I look forward to going to the parade next week. I'll try to get some videos and some pictures up for all of you when it comes to that. But this is a bizarre season where they just kind of floated through it, went into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum, caught fire, went right through the first 3 rounds, and then in an absolute dogfight against the Toronto team. By the way, hat tip to Toronto. They were terrific. They did everything they could. That Dodger team is loaded with Hall of Famers and talent all over the place, and they went toe-to-toe with them and quite frankly, outplayed them for a good portion of the series. The Dodgers just a little bit better at the very, very end in the last couple of nights. So heartbreak for Toronto, but jubilation, exaltation, and celebration in Los Angeles. We love LA. All right, that's going to do it. Harry and I will be back with you on Monday, and we're going to chew on this for weeks. We're going to have a great time doing it. Congratulations to the Dodgers. Congratulations to all of you Dodger fans out there like us. Thanks for making us a part of what you do here at Locked On Dodgers. Tell your friends they should subscribe. Sign us up on YouTube, audio podcasts, wherever you get them. Make sure that you let us know what you think of the show. We'll see you then next time. And by the way, go Dodgers 2 in a row. 3-peat?